Whether it's about spirits, demons, fairies, or any other being or paranormal phenomenon, neither science nor religion have been able to explain whether they really exist or not. On this occasion, we bring you an unusual event that has just taken place in Ireland. It's about an elderly woman who claims to have been a witch and also to be one of the devil's women. Her name is Parlatroska Karkovena. Documentarians. Parlatroska Karkovena, or the Witch of Knocknarea. Named so because she was found dying, as various Irish media report, near the famous mountain with the same name. The people who found her were 4 hikers who were heading to the Knocknarea mountain to film the famous megalithic tombs located there. However, they never reached their destination because halfway through the journey, they found the body of a dying woman. The hikers say she was wearing a black dress and a headscarf of the same color, old shoes, and a pair of gold rings on her left hand. Apparently, she had been crawling through the grasslands until she reached the path where the hikers found her. The young people described the moment as chilling and terrifying. Liam Smith, a 44-year-old amateur cameraman, was the first to decide to help the poor old woman. Liam slowly approached the woman, speaking to her and asking if she was okay. The old woman was kneeling on the floor, her face wrinkled, eyes tired, a gloomy look, and her hands completely bloody. Kiba Aylwin and Lorcan Aylwin, both brothers, described the woman as an old lady who, judging by her appearance, seemed to be over 1,000 years old. For his part, Regan Motley, one of the 4 hikers, decided to stay a little behind because the atmosphere of the place and the situation got on his nerves. And he was stunned by the circumstances of that dying woman. Immediately, the young hikers lifted the woman, who, to their surprise, her hands were not only bloody but she also had no nails. The hikers claim it was as if they had been ripped off. They walked her to a kilometer from the incident site where they had parked the vehicle they were traveling in. However, the journey to the vehicle was somewhat uncomfortable. Kiba Edwin stated that while his brothers Lorcan and Liam were carrying the old woman, she kept uttering words in a language unknown to any of them. Reagan, still fearful of the situation, said that it seemed to him like some kind of spell or incantation. Magic words of some sort that only people who are knowledgeable about the subject can understand. Once they got to the car, the hikers tried to give first aid to the woman who had her hands shattered. They sat the woman in the back seats and bandaged her hands. They headed to the nearest hospital where she was attended to by the local doctors. No one in the emergency room could believe what was happening. After medical evaluations, it was discovered that this woman presented symptoms with special medical characteristics: sunken eyes, dry oral mucosa, tachycardia, mild seizure crises, kidney failure, disorientation, scaly skin, and what seemed to be a picture of dementia or some psychological disorder. They proceeded to channel the woman to inject fluids and glucose into the bloodstream. But at the moment of laying her down, right in front of the bed where they had placed the woman, there was an image of Christ on a wall, which left that woman stunned. Calm suddenly came to the emergency room, and while everyone was looking at the astonished face of that woman, she began to utter magical words again. Only this time, Liam Smith, As a good Catholic, he could recognize Jesus Nazarenus Rex Iuda Iorum. The Spanish translation would be Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Parlatroska Karkovena had been speaking in Latin. What he had said, the way to the car, is a mystery. But what he undoubtedly pronounced in that hospital was what he read in the initials of that Catholic image. The woman was falling asleep and her vital signs gradually recovered. However, it was not until after 3 days that Parlatroska Karkovena woke up. She was not confused or disoriented, quite the opposite. She got up thanking and desperately asking for the young hikers, who by then had already given a statement to the authorities about what happened. Kiba Aylwin had left her phone number for the hospital to contact her as soon as the woman woke up. They were immediately alerted, and she and her brother Lorcan arrived at the place within minutes. The doctors asked her for information about herself. Who was she, where did she live, and why? She was found in the middle of nowhere, having crawled from who knows where. The woman looked up and with sad eyes told everyone the most incredible thing of their lives. My name is Parlatroska Karkovena. I have been living in Ireland for 50 years. I came here because I needed to hide, not from someone, but from something. I live near the place where they found me. I am a witch and I practice black magic. Just as she uttered those last words, chills came over the people who were present at the place. For Kiba and Lorcan, at that moment everything seemed to make some sense to Parlatroska Karkovena. She was a witch, she practiced black magic, and something terrible had happened to her. An hour of a horrible story was what the witch confessed. The woman rewrote what apparently was the way the devil, the evil one, or as she calls him Satan, uses the bodies of women for his pleasure. Parlatroska Karkovena once sold her soul to the devil, and the time had come to deliver it, but she refused on more than one occasion. Fleeing from the devil himself all the way to Ireland? When asked about the reason for having sold her soul to the devil, the woman confessed that she was not a woman of this time, as she claims to have been born in the year 1217 in Kievan Rus, or the Old Slavic state. But how was it possible for someone to live almost 1,000 years? Parlatroska Karkovena tells how the devil has been using women for centuries and never lets them die, with the peculiarity that these women would have had to sell their soul in exchange for some favors, which in the case of Parlatroska, her soul was sold to the devil, in exchange for a spell or enchantment to have the maximum effect on the person it was directed at. The woman tells how her children were snatched away by the Cumans, a kind of Mongol warriors descendants of Genghis Khan, who conquered Russia at that time, and that they also stripped her of her belongings and burned her house down. However, she had been practicing black magic since then, and she claims to have cursed the fate of those who took her children away, whom she never saw again. The witch tells how the devil can turn an old woman into a young and beautiful woman, and that furthermore, sometimes he likes to combine women with goats and other animals. But even Satan himself gets bored of using the same women, and once this happens, he gives them back their soul and drags them back to the world where they belong, to let them die. When the woman finished explaining what happened, she kindly asked for a glass of water with a bit of ground dill. After they brought a priest, and in the end, she said, these days everything seems to be getting worse. But the last time I saw Satan, he was desperate. Do not fear, Abba will soon come for us. Abba is a word belonging to the Aramaic language, which means father. In Semitic languages, the word Ab means source and already has the meaning of father, constant source of life. The priest arrived at the hospital, and after performing what Kiba and his brother Logan describe as a confession, Parlatroska Karkovena died from unknown causes. Right? False? It's hard to explain, but at least Parlatroska Karkovena, regretting her wrongdoings, in the end left us a hope for humanity. We don't exactly know if it's God or some kind of savior. What we do know is that lately a lot of horrendous things are happening everywhere, and that the world needs to be saved. This was the Witch of Noknareya for the Troska Karkovena. Documentarians, thank you for watching the video.